Allison. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. Before concluding his weekly general audience this past week, Pope Francis announced that he was inviting Christian and non-Christian young people from around the world to a meeting in preparation for the Synod of Bishops on the Youth in 2018. The Synod office said the March 19th through the 24th, 2018 pre-Synod meeting will be an opportunity for the Church to listen to the hopes and concerns of young men and women. Young people attending the meeting also will take part in the Palm Sunday Mass at the Vatican March 25th, coinciding with local celebrations of World Youth Day. The Synod of Bishops on Youth takes place in October of 2018. News from around the country. This past week, the U.S. House passed the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, which bans abortions after 20 weeks of gestation, which is about the time doctors have determined that an unborn child can feel pain. Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York, chairman of the U.S. Bishops' Committee on Pro-Life Activities, had urged passage of the bill, saying that while there are divergent views on the practice of abortion, it is widely recognized from public opinion polls that a strong majority of the public is consistently opposed to late-term abortions. The Trump administration, in a statement, said it strongly supported the bill and that President Trump would sign the measure if it reached his desk. However, the Senate still must schedule consideration of the bill, and according to reports, that seems unlikely at this time. In news from Rome, in a keynote address opening a 4-day Congress entitled Child Dignity in the Digital World, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State, said child abuse is not only a crime, it's a sacrilege. And action must be taken, he said, to heal wounds, restore justice, prevent crimes, and establish a culture of real safeguarding so children can grow up healthy and safe. Rome Reports has more details on the Congress.
Cardinal Pietro Parolin inaugurated this Congress for Children's Dignity in the Digital World. It involves a world meeting of experts to find solutions to threats that stalk minors on the Internet. The Church wants to be on the front line in the battle against this problem. It wants to give responses that are meant to help victims and contribute to preventing these phenomenons, these abuses. In this conference, the Cardinal asked for special attention to be paid to children from the periphery, geographic peripheries, as much as those felt in society. It's these children who are most exposed to abuse networks that circulate on the Internet. The Congress is looking for solutions to serious problems for children and adolescents, which range from Internet bullying to the dissemination of harmful photos or even child trafficking. The numbers are shocking. In 2016, Interpol detected 5 new child victims of sexual abuse each day. Experts will submit a proposition of solutions to combat the phenomenon to Pope Francis this Friday. They range from better Internet education for small children to having Internet providers filter inappropriate content or a greater control of potential abusers.
The International Assembly included more than 100 top experts and leaders in government, law enforcement, nonprofit organizations, and technology who are working in child protection. More news from around the country. At a briefing on Capitol Hill October 3rd, the March for Life Education and Defense Fund announced the theme for the 2018 rally and march. It is Love Saves Lives. Life is the loving, empowering, and self-sacrificial option. The 45th March for Life will take place January 19th, which is a Friday and comes ahead of the January 22nd anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court's 1973 ruling in Roe v. Wade. Pro-lifers from around the country will gather for a rally at noon on the grounds of the Washington Monument. After the rally, they will march up Constitution Avenue to the court. And finally in the news, a very special shrine in St. Meinrad, Indiana, recently celebrated the conclusion of a 2-year restoration. The site of the shrine dates back to 1857, but the present structure was built in 1870 and was in need of some serious repairs. Catholic News Service was on hand for the gathering and spoke to some of the participants who expressed their love for Monte Cassino.
To see what they've done now, and it is absolute, it brings my tears to my eyes. It's so gorgeous.
The Monte Cassino Shrine in southern Indiana is nearly 150 years old. It's famous for an occurrence that is widely believed to be a miracle. It was constructed in 1870. 2 years later, the community was threatened by the smallpox epidemic. Members of the nearby Benedictine St. Meinrad Arch Abbey pilgrimaged to this shrine to pray a novena to the Blessed Mother.
On the 9th day, the last day of the novena, the infirmary emptied out and no more people either in the seminary or the Archabbey contracted the smallpox. We attribute the good recovery, the health, to the intercession of Our Lady.
Hundreds of people still pilgrimage to the shrine today, many for the rosary processions held every Sunday of October and May.
On a regular basis, we get letters from people who come up here for the first time, the only time, and they'll write and just say, something special happened here. I felt a certain peace here. I felt a certain relationship with God here that I haven't found in another place. I have no doubt that there have been lots of personal miracles that have taken place here.
Originally painted in 1931, the depictions of Mary on the wall had been cracked, worn, and damaged by moisture in the building. They have been thoroughly cleaned and retouched and given new lighting. The lower portion of the walls were newly decorated with period artwork designed by St. Meinrad Monk. And the grounds received a new prayer garden, a large paved area around the chapel, and a surrounding sandstone wall. Well, that is all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV network.